And again, on that same note, the bigger hindrance that I see across the board is car payments.
Car payments. I was just about to ask you about that, right? So getting the new BM 7 Series, not a
new Benz, new all this, new and
it's not a good idea.
Not get it after the house.
Don't even get it at all.
If you want it from, don't. And listen, as someone who owns 3 properties,
Talk that shit.
I drive a 2019 Honda Civic that I own outright. Yeah. Listen, I feel like I'm in a Bugatti when I'm in it. I don't care because I ain't got no payment to pay other than my insurance and my gas.
These new cars have all the bells and whistles more than the BMW and the Audis and all that stuff.
I'm telling you,
right?
all the same.
Yeah.
You're paying for the emblem. That's really all it is. And granted, don't get me wrong, I'm gonna get my little, Mercedes in the future. But when I achieve everything else that I really want for myself, that I know the Benz or the Beamer is holding me back from.
Trying to be rich, not look rich.
Yeah, then I'll go get it after everything else is done. But getting it first or on your journey is always going to hold you back.
Yeah.
Because again, going back to debt servicing ratios, that's a slice of my income, a slice of pie out of my income.
Payments are not
gone.
Little $200 payments, guys.
I'm seeing
$1,200.
4-figure monthly payments.
Madness.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Madness.
It's crazy.
I was gonna ask you about I'm blank here right now. It was right on the tip of my tongue. You mentioned something about, where is it?
Honda Civic.
No, man, I forgot what it was. I was right there, but we said something we straight off. I was talking about consolidation. It was a debt, right? You posted a video the other day about whether or not
consumer proposal.
Consumer proposals.
Ah, yes.
You posted that the other day. I know a few people that got it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And whether it's the time has passed or not, they got it, right? Not a good thing to get.
No, I mean, you can definitely, and again, like everything.
This is one of the things where people it's overwhelming, so they go to the ad that just came up on YouTube.
And that's the part that's so scary, is like everything is so accessible, and social media's made everything in your face, right? And if I'm somebody, I could have easily been someone. I watch YouTube while I'm doing the dishes, and I could be someone who could have very well been overwhelmed by debt. Saw that ad mid-dish scrub and be like, oh, solution.
Right.
Seemingly. Yeah. And the problem with the consumer proposal is it's like a step below a bankruptcy. So even though you're consolidating all of this debt, and yes, it does reduce how much things you're paying, you still have a payment to make to pay off now this one debt.
Right.
And it's a stain on your credit.
That's what it is.
And it's a stain for as long as you're paying it off, and for 2 years after you finish paying it off.
Right. Some of these are for 9 years, 5 years.
Exactly.
Plus the 2 years.
And the thing is, I hate the fact that they've given it this term and they have this connotation to it, like it's okay. Because as soon as people hear bankruptcy, their ears perk up. They're like, no way.
You can't touch them.
But you don't have that same reaction for consumer proposals when they do very similar things for you. You should. Yeah. So when people have a consumer proposal, granted, yes, it can help some people climb out of a really sticky situation.
In real time.
Exactly, but it's all circumstantial, right? Like I've seen people that do consumer proposals because they had 6 figures of debt to consolidate and wrap up. Cool, I get it in that scenario. But I've also seen people who had 20 grand worth of credit card debt.
Yeah, 4 cards for $5,000 each, right?
Yeah, and then they wrap it into a consumer proposal.
Right.
That is manageable, in my opinion. I would never justify wrapping up $15,000, $20,000 worth of credit card or line of credit debt into a consumer proposal, because now that relief is there, you're like, oh, I'm out of this debt. What do I want to do next? I want to go get a car. You're not going to get a good car loan interest rate because of the consumer proposal. And now you're going to pay a very hefty fine monthly or hefty fee monthly for that car loan because you got double the interest rate because of your consumer proposal. Or maybe I'm like, okay, cool. I've righted the ship. I'm ready to buy a house. You're not getting a bank mortgage for at least 2 years.
Jeez.
Because the bank, no A lender is giving you a mortgage until 2 years after you've paid off your consumer proposal.
Right.
So if you're somebody who gets a consumer proposal today, but then let's say you know that was your epiphany, and you've righted your finances, and now in 2026 you're ready to buy a house. It's not going to be with the bank.
Yeah.
Because they're going to see the consumer proposal and be like, no, that's too recent of you to have a consumer proposal for us to feel comfortable giving you a mortgage.
And you still got to wait
of
2
any
years
size
after that.
Exactly.
Jeez.
And you have to think, what are prices going to be in 2 years after that?
Well, come on. Based off of the trends, we know it's going to be damn near
exactly
whatever, X.
Exactly.
Right?
Whereas maybe if you just put your head down and paid off the 20 or 15 grand's worth of debt yourself without the consumer proposal, in that year, you could have bought that house with the bank.
What's the again, these consumer proposals, they're wrapping up their debt, but they're still giving you a payment, right? So how can they get it so low? Are they striking a deal with Capital One and TD, and how does that work?
It's a combination of things, but also too, like when you think about, and where it really becomes a valuable solution to people is if I'm paying 6 or 7 things, it's overwhelming.
It is.
I'm probably missing payments because I'm forgetting, or it's just the stress of it as well. When you wrap it into one debt that has one interest rate, maybe that interest rate is lower than some of the things that you're paying off, maybe a little bit higher than some of the things. Like when you compare them holistically, the payment for all 7 things in one scenario versus the payment for this one debt, for this one thing, maybe the payment's a little bit lower.
Yeah, that's more manageable.